Let's see.
Yeah.
We
All
are
right.
live. So make sure the sound's working. Yep.
How's everybody sounding? How's everybody looking? How's everybody doing?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh man, if I look half as good as you, Kuz, I'm having a great day.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are now in tune to the greatest world-renowned world travelers, the most wonderful podcast that has ever been created. It's the 8-Bit Clubhouse Podcast. Introducing your host. He's fresh out of San Diego and fresh out of Boston and back in Connecticut. It's your favorite gamer's favorite gamer, Hambone Johnny.
I'm back.
1 month ago, I was back in Tokyo and Shibuya and Kyoto, and now I'm in South Carolina, and I was in Minneapolis earlier, traveling the world here. It's your boy, Bob Cousy. And last but most, he's fresh out of Mexico and Jamaica and all the Caribbean islands and the Mickey Mouse Playhouse. It is Drew. Guys, I was trying to count all the places we've been in the
been a
past
lot.
month. It's been out of
It's been a
control.
lot.
But this is the first time the three of us are back together, recording live. The podcast is in full effect right now. It's great. It's great to see you guys. What's happening?
Oh,
Now,
man.
I have to first apologize for last night. I threw a late one on you guys. The Celtics were on, and let's just say worst case scenario happened. Blew a lead like they have been doing,
Yep.
and Tatum ruptured his Achilles, and he's out for probably 6 months. He's probably out half next season, and we're now losing 3-1 in the series, and it's not looking good.
It's terrible. How
I'll tell
is
you what,
Evan
Drew,
taking
I'm
it?
on a
happy.
text thread with 3 Knicks fans. So my phone was blowing up last night with all the Knicks fans that were so happy
Yeah.
that what was happening. So
I know.
yeah.
I'm in the tri-state-ish area, so I'm in the thick of Knicks country over here. I
Yeah.
would say I'm a Knicks fan, but I haven't really followed it since the Allen Houston days. But I did
Wow.
when I played
That's a
basketball
throwback.
in my youth. I did wear 33 for my boy,
Patrick Ewing. Yeah.
of course. But it's been
Yeah.
quite some time since I followed basketball heavily.
Allen Houston went to the University of Tennessee.
Ah, there you go.
That's a
There you
super
go.
throwback.
That little
there.
fun fact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how about that? But yeah, how good is it to be back together again? Finally,
Oh, it's awesome.
you guys
feels good.
have been, just manning the ship in my absence, figuring out the technology.
Well,
Like
that's for
you're
sure.
not even, you don't even need me. Like, why am I even
sheesh,
here?
dude. Sheesh.
Yeah,
Well,
it's been
did you-
crazy.
Some of the early episodes, we struggled.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Oh.
It is totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah, our full episode was audio only, and our 7.5 episode was it was a whole new world. So, oh yeah, I forgot to say this is episode ocho. I got
That's right.
it recorded. Today is Tuesday.
October
Usually it's a
Tuesday.
Monday. Today's Tuesday, May the 13th. So I had to throw that in there. I forgot. Man, I need to start writing down these intros so I can at least like get them in some kind of like order. I just randomly spew
the way
stuff
you do
out
it is
there, so.
perfect. I will say I did take on some additional responsibilities over Latin America at work.
Oh
this
yeah.
week. So I know you said we can probably get up to like 50 or so off of your Spanish counting. I'm gonna need to brush up as well. So at some point we'll have to kind of put our minds together and really get the Spanish station going. Telemundo, 8-Bit Clubhouse.
Did you volunteer to step up for that promotion at work, or did they just kind of say,
Well,
"You're
it
now
wasn't
in charge of-"
necessarily a promotion. It was more of a voluntold, but it was a good opportunity. So,
Hey.
so here we
They're
go.
like, "Oh, Hambone, you speak Spanish, right?"
That's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah,
what
kind of.
that's
Sure.
exactly what my manager came into. Hey, Hambone, You want some more work? Yes, I do.
All right,
Yes,
so
I
all
do.
Spanish.
I was just sitting here thinking, wow, I wish I had more work to do.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I
Uh,
was thinking
oh,
today,
good.
Coos? As I was getting ready for the podcast tonight, getting my stuff together and everything. I said, I thought back to when we came and visited you in Colorado, and I said, there's 3 things that I'd missed today from Colorado. The first
Mm.
one was the High Chew fruit candies. Haven't had them since, and they're delicious. Second
Yeah.
one,
Good.
R.I.P. Your little puppy. She was a
Oh,
saint.
yeah. Yeah.
The third thing was the amazing cup of coffee cappuccino machine thing that you had that made excellent coffee. But that
Yeah.
just ran by me today. I said, those
Really?
were some
Just
good
randomly
times.
popped in your mind, huh?
Yeah. As I was prepping, I just said, I was waiting to drop a coffee. I said, man, remember Coos has that fancy coffee machine.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
still have the coffee machine. I now
Mm.
have 2 new dogs that
Mm.
can absolutely fill that void. And we can always take care of the high chews. I actually sent both you guys a package. I sent Hambone some
You too.
high chews from
I
Japan.
was just gonna
Japan
call-
exclusive.
Japan
What?
exclusive.
Wow.
Care
What flavor was
package
that?
from Mr. Coos. Yeah,
Cherry
I got
blossom?
I haven't eaten them yet. I'm waiting
Cherry
for
blossom.
Cherry blossom flavor.
I think it was like pineapple or something. Or
something. I
don't
haven't
know
tried
what
them
it
yet,
was.
but I'm sure they'll be
Pina
delicious.
colada or
Wow.
something.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you for the package. They were great.
very
We
nice.
talked about it. So since we should bring it up, right? You talked about the little mystery sound clip boxes that you got. You got the GameCube one, the one you wanted. You sent me one. I don't know if I know what Hambone did, but I ended up getting the Nintendo DS one, the little startup one. I don't have it with me, so I can't play it. But thank
Yeah.
you. It was a very nice gesture of you, and I got the little N64 joystick fidget, which is
Nice.
great.
Yes. Got
Yeah.
I
that
wish
as
I had
well.
that now. So,
Yeah.
did you
I
get
love
a
that
mystery
fidget.
box?
I did.
Hambone?
I did, and I opened it as soon as I got home. Opened it up.
Yep.
It was amazing. Saw the high chews, saw the mystery box, and I honestly I couldn't tell you what it is. I totally forgot. So
Yeah.
Come on.
it was amazing.
All right.
But I do know I got the N64 fidget toy.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
my son was very confused. He's like, "How does this work?" I'm like, "You just do it.
Just play with
That's what it is.
Just do it.
You
Just do it.
do it, man.
Yeah.
Just do it." So, Coos, thank you very much.
My
Even though I don't
pleasure.
remember exactly what I got, but it was amazing.
That's okay.
So I gotta ask you guys. I'm in the middle of trying to figure out if I should do a job myself or hire somebody. And here's my dilemma. So I have a concrete patio around my pool, and it needs to be sealed. Right? It's probably 3 years old. It needs to be power washed, and then you have to seal it probably with a roller because I don't have a sprayer. Let it dry, and then do a second coat. It's probably not a ton of work. My problem is I don't have any material. I measured it today based on the square footage. I think it's going to cost me like $500 of material. I need like 10 gallons, get the rollers and whatnot. The only concern I have is like, I don't know exactly what sealant to use. And they say like if you use the wrong sealant, there's water-based, acrylic-based, like it could peel, it might not last long, it could damage the concrete.
Yeah.
And it's like, I wish somebody would just say, here's what you need. And then I could, I can power wash, and you just paint it on. It's fairly simple. But my concern is I go spend $500 and then I buy the wrong shit and I make it worse.
Yeah.
So I called like 8 people today. One guy, no one answered the phone. One guy picked up the phone and said, sorry, I don't do that. Another guy texted me back and said, hey, here's my sealant guy. Call him. So I called him. Super nice guy. It's a small business. Him and his son do it. I sent him some pictures and he's like, I think I should do it for around $1,200. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
like double the cost. I mean, it's a guarantee, but
Right.
I'm in the dilemma. What do you do here? What are you thinking?
You pay the guy.
I
Pay the
know.
guy and do it.
You pay the guy.
So this is how I look at that stuff, right? If there's even a shred of doubt that you can make a larger problem for yourself, and that $1,200 can turn into 25 or 36 or $5,000 to repair some serious concrete damage.
Yeah.
It's a small price to pay. If these guys are insured, they're gonna do it right. Just suck it up and then go enjoy your day while they're doing it, right? time is money, man. It really is.
I,
So it's
but-
$500 to do it.
yeah, and
But
know
then
they're
how
gonna
long is it going to take
here,
you to do
and
it?
they're gonna do it like in a half a day. And like me, look, because they have like blowers to like they power wash it. They have blowers to dry it, and then they can seal it, and then they dry it, and then they seal it all in one day. I'm gonna have to like power wash it one night, and then they say you should do it in the evening so it's not too hot. So
Yeah.
this is a 3-day thing for me. I'm gonna have to like power wash one day, first coat the second day, and a second coat the third day. And it's like anything could happen. I know I hear you. I don't want to spend the money, but I don't want to spend $500 and then I'm worse than I was before.
Well, here's what you do. You just, sell one of your One Rings and you're like a tenth of the way there, man. That's it.
Or like you said, I like the idea of maybe paying this guy, like watching intensely, like seeing what he's using, ask a lot of questions.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, call the guy and say, so I think I'm gonna use your service, but just out of curiosity, would you go with the oil based or the water based sealing? Like,
I just want to know what I'm putting down. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know what I'm hiring here. And he'd say, well, of course I'm going to use the, the acrylic. And then you're like, interesting. I've got another guy who says to use the water, and like get all that info out of him and then figure out how to do it. But this is a way smaller project, but I finished a table a couple years ago and I didn't put any sealant on it. I just put like polyurethane, just coated, like put 3 coats of polyurethane. And the weather wore it off in like 2 years, just destroyed it.
Yeah.
So then this year I refinished it again and just used Thompson's water seal, and it's worked already amazingly better. Like, so sealing it is definitely the way you want, but I looked into the sealant too. There's like the oil based, the water based, the acrylic based, and I'm like, I don't know what to use here. So I just close my eyes and pick one.
Yeah. And then I looked
with your situation, it could be a lot bigger of a hassle.
And I did my homework. I did a lot of homework. I found out like one of the better companies is called Foundation Armor. So I was like, let me just call the 1-800 number, see what this guy says. Got like a sales rep on the phone, super friendly guy, explain the situation to him. He's like asking hard questions. He's like, well, when was it sealed? What did that guy use? I was like, I don't know what he used. I wouldn't be asking you if I knew. And then he's like, well, what you should do is order this kit from us, do a test sample, and then see what it comes back with. I was like, what? And then he's like, and then you want to do a whole, he's like, I would use this kind. And then I would do one layer and then buy some grit and get like a Scotch spreader and spread some grit over there. I'm like, what is happening here, buddy? I was like, no, I'm not doing all of that.
No.
So I like the idea. I'm just gonna
that's it. Take notes, pay the guy,
take notes,
and do it yourself in 10 years or whatever, whenever the timing is to seal it next. Set up a camera.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for talking to me. My wife doesn't like that answer, but I like that answer.
Financially,
you know what? I think you should just keep leaning on. We could have had the basketball, court. That's basically free money.
I didn't do that.
I agree.
Keep that and then just keep a spreadsheet. Look, this could have been the basketball court, but this is all the stuff we had. 17 packs of Magic cards,
30
sealed the patio. And we got the NBA All Access pass or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We've
got like an extra few grand to spend. So this is perfect.
I'm going to the Celtics game tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly, man. Look, this could have been. So I think that's the play.
I agree.
You know what? Thank you, gentlemen, as always, for talking it out, coming to us. Appreciate it.
Speaking of the One Rings, I've heard Magic has escalated. That's the rumor on the Google Doc.
Magic has escalated. I think I told you guys I bought a box of cards, which means I bought like an unopened box that comes with 30 packs of cards in there. The wife just keeps shaking her head at me. She's like, how much are you going to spend? I was like, I'm done. I promise I'm done. And then I've spent like 2 or 3 days, like just going through them all. I started organizing them because they have like serial numbers. So I put them in order, and I have like 700 Lord of the Rings cards. So it took forever to put them in order.
Escalate pretty quickly, man.
So
she's like, can we hit the pause button for a second? Because I want to know how quickly this escalated, because this went from, hey, I got a couple packs. I went to the store. I got some things to hang. And I thought you had like 50 cards, like whatever. The guys bought you like another pack. Like dude's got, I don't know, a handful of cards, whatever. You have 700 cards. Did I hear you correctly?
Yes.
I mean, how
Okay.
many are there? Like, do you have 3 sets now?
You
or-
got dupes? You got some
I
dupes?
did have a
over
lot
there?
of dupes. I got some dupes. Well, the Lord of the Rings has a lot. There's like over 1,000 Lord of the Rings cards, but I have
Sorry,
a lot of
dudes.
dupes.
Didn't mean to kill you.
I got the
You
dupes.
got the dupes.
So I got the. Yeah, it's escalated. But the wife's just like, I don't understand what you're doing. And I was like, well, I'm serializing them. So that way when I like want to find one, I can just quickly know where it is. She's like, well, how do you know if you have it? I was like, well, you see, I have a spreadsheet here with conditional format. So like when I put it in, it turns green, and then I know if I have it or not, and I can do some searching and some filtering, and it's great. She's and she thinks I'm crazy. And I am, and I love it. I love
That's
it.
awesome, dude.
I am still, what would you say the opposite of undefeated is? I'm winless. I've yet to win a game,
Really?
Yeah, winless is the correct terminology.
but I came in second place, so I'm proud of that.
How'd you come in second? Oh, because you played Commander.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
see, okay, you know what you're talking about.
I know a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know how to
let
play,
him
but I
bum
know
fool
of.
you.
I know
Don't let
of.
him bum fool you.
He's there.
Listen,
He's,
man, after my weekend, I
he's got a couple hundred.
got all kinds of knowledge up here.
But yeah, it's escalated. Buddies at work. I'll get to it later, but it's embarrassing to say this. I met up with some Magic the Gathering folks on the cruise. There was a group I found
On the
on the
family
cruise.
cruise.
a family cruise. And let me tell you, I mean, when you think of a nerd, and the worst part is they're like, oh man, let's go to the pub and play. And in my mind, I'm like, the hockey game's going on at the pub. There's going to be a lot of
Yeah.
people in there cheering. Like, I'm usually the guy there hanging out with the beer, watching the hockey game, and I'm going to be walking in with my Magic cards. So I dressed appropriately. I put on like my hat backwards that night. Had like a I think I wore like my Celtics jersey. I'm like, I didn't fit the scene and be like, yeah, I'm just kind of here playing, you know. But got my beer.
And you
And I
take
was
out your
just like-
binder of cards.
But I'll tell you, when I sat down and people saw us, like they were talking. You could see the whispers in the corner, and
Listen,
You
man.
know what? it's fantastic. I
At
love
this
it.
point, man, we're old. So, like,
I
let them
know.
talk. You know, who are we trying to impress? If you're having fun, we'll give you some ribs, but like, dude, enjoy. Have fun.
Absolutely. I hear you. But yeah, that's enough for
I
the
love
Magic
it.
talk. I
Dr.
think.
Platypus says next week the plushies in the background are gone. It's just stacks of Magic the Gathering cards.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I sold my
Uh,
plushie collection to satisfy my Magic addiction.
Yeah.
Amazing. Just wait till
Love
they
it.
come out with Series 2.
oh
I don't
god.
know.
Well, Final Fantasy comes out like in a week or two, but I'm
It
not
did,
a big
yeah.
Final Fantasy guy. I mean, Lord of the Rings is the one. I mean, the only other thing that's gonna destroy me would be Nintendo, which I don't see that happening. But you never know.
You never know, man.
Who knows?
Never know. No, it's crazy.
Enough about me.
Ooh.
What about you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to chime in. I had a crazy past couple weeks. I had a death in the family.
Oh no.
That's
A
Sorry,
family member that lives close by. So I had a lot of family come in town and stay with us. So I've had 7 to 10 people in my house for the past week, 4 dogs. And it's
Jeez.
just been a madhouse. And then, like, as soon as that started to die down, my daughter's 10th birthday was this past week.
Yeah.
And yard work's been going out the
Ugh.
frame now. The weather's nice. I've done all the yard work. I've done the trees. Remember those broken trees I sent you?
Yeah.
I'm
What you
trying
think
to-
I'm doing with it?
I've secured them with ropes. One of them looks like it's good. The other one, I don't think it's going to make it because when I pulled it up, it snapped again.
It's
So
done.
it snapped 2 ways. and
Winless.
I'm like, that one's
Winless.
It's winless.
Yeah,
That tree
yeah.
is.
But the other
Sorry,
one's
winless.
good. But so
That's
I have
good.
2 trees that are like strapped to the side of my house. Yeah, all the yard, put in some mulch. I mean, I did all the things. But yeah, but then we had my daughter's birthday. We did an escape room and we beat it. We've never
Nice.
beat one as a family. We went to the same place where we went with you guys.
I liked that
Oh,
place.
that was a good one. Was it the same room you guys did, or
no? It was
they
a
had
different
a few
room.
different
It
ones,
was
right?
like a Mayan temple. So,
oh, that's one. Did we escape? I think we did.
We
We did not.
No?
I don't think we did. I think we were like one puzzle
No,
away.
I thought we crawled out at the end. Maybe not.
No, because
We had
they
to get
gave us
hints.
stickers that said I escaped, and Blanco was like, "I'm not taking that sticker because we didn't escape."
That's a fair point. Probably the
I
smartest thing he's
remember
ever
that.
said.
That's why
I
I
had
know
too
we
much
didn't
fun.
escape, because he was like, "I don't want that sticker."
Yeah. Play by the rules.
That's it.
Yeah. But then her birthday was Survivor themed. So my wife bought like
Love it.
thousands of dollars of decorations. We had tiki torches all over the place. She bought the cardboard cutout of Jeff Probst.
I was going to ask,
but we lost it. We couldn't.
I don't
find
understand.
It.
It's 6 feet tall.
I know. I searched
Did it
the
blow
whole
away or
house.
something? Was it
couldn't find
outside?
anywhere.
Wait, did you
I don't
have it
know.
for the party at least?
No, we couldn't find it to set up for the party.
You had too much shit. You couldn't. It was just.
Yep, exactly. And she had like a birthday card that was like had his picture on it and stuff. Lost that too. But
Something
it was
fishy
still
going on.
the party was still really good. But half of the decorations were from Temu, and I have for those watching the video, I've got one of the decorations. Oh, we got a really cool cake. I don't have a picture of that handy, but on the cake it said outwit, outlast, outlast. So that was the cake. But then we got this from Temu. Let's see if I can throw it up here for those watching the video. I'll try to describe it for those at home.
What is it?
It looks like the Survivor like logo,
Like a
It's
got,
got-
placemat.
Yeah, it's
it's
a
got
like a
no, it's
wooden,
a tin, like a metal tin, like hang on the wall picture.
Oh, okay, cool.
Of the
Okay.
Survivor logo, but it's a hand holding a torch that looks like maybe it's the Statue of Liberty torch.
Statue
It's
of
very
Liberty or
very
Olympic
regal.
torch.
Yeah.
And at the top, it has it's supposed to say outwit, but it says O and the U and T are combined, so it's like out. I don't. It's not even out. Wit.
Ooh, what?
And then it says just out. And then it says Olay. And then there's like a portion that used to be a word, but it was scratched
Gross.
out.
Yeah, it got like erased. Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing.
I'm not sure what that was. And then down at the bottom, it says outwit. The U is struggling there in outwit. And then
Yeah.
outplay, outlast, and then la last. So outwit, outplay, outlast, la last. And then in the Survivor logo, it says outwit, play, out.
What's that?
so
What's the
that's-
word above out that's in orange? Is that supposed to be something?
I don't know.
Maybe
It looks
like a
kind of
year.
almost like
Looks like it's like an E or an F with like numbers.
It's like the eye of
It almost,
Sauron.
you know
in
how
there.
they like write curse words in the comics? It looks like that.
Yeah.
So this is like
Um,
you'd put cookies in it or something. It opens up. It's like a tin.
No, it's more like it's flat, like a wall display. Like,
It's like a metal poster.
yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
So I saw that and I thought of Hambone and his Temu purchases.
It's amazing.
So
So
I had to get
question:
a picture of
where's
it.
this going now? Is it going like in your man cave? Because it's almost so bad it's good. I
Yeah,
think it needs to be displayed.
I know. I do need right now.
I
It's
need
in
to
the
know-
whole stack.
so
of
when
further
you-
decoration.
Purchase this item from Temu. Did you
Mhm.
know it had all these errors on there?
I didn't purchase it. My wife purchased it, and I'm sure she didn't know that there were errors. She didn't even see that the cake said outwit, outlast, outlast. I had to point that out to her. So,
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
I'm sure she didn't see it if it said that, but it probably looked normal on the Temu, page, and then
Yeah.
you get it and it's like,
That's
well,
fair.
No,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Well, did
Yeah.
your? I guess the moral of the story is, or the question would be, did your daughter have a good birthday party? Did she have?
I mean,
fun?
a blast. Oh yeah,
Awesome.
a blast.
all
yeah.
that stuff is just funny, but like that's what's the most important thing. So
Yeah,
glad you had a
yeah.
good
I had a
time.
good turnout of friends. She had there was like 11 or 12 girls
Oh,
there,
wow.
including her and Avery. So, yeah, it was a really good time. And I took a lot of videos. I'm actually making a little video of the party
That's
I'm
awesome.
gonna make and share. So it's yeah, she had a blast. So
You're
it
gonna
turned
play
out well.
the Survivor music in the background. Maybe you can do like a quick cameo of Jeff Probst. Get his little voiceover in the beginning.
I'm working on it. I'm trying.
Working
I'm
on it,
trying to
alright.
see what I can do. But yeah, it
He's gotta be on
should be good.
Cameo.
Yeah. Yeah, I also wanted to show this other picture I have. I came to Myrtle Beach today, and Myrtle Beach is special, and it's Bike Week of all the weeks. So all the bikers are here, and it's called the Redneck Riviera. It's it's not the cleanest of beaches, but the girls are at the pool and we're right on the beach. So I'm like, I'm just going to walk down to the beach and put my toes in the sand while they're here playing. So I walk down there, and as soon as I get to the water, the first thing I see is it's a full pack of condoms, just sitting there on the sand. And it's like, welcome to Myrtle Beach. Like, here's why you came. If you want to come, this is
go.
for you.
I don't, maybe I've been out of the game for quite some time, but I didn't recognize that brand. Did it say trusted or did it say busted? Because I think either would work.
In different ways.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get a zoom in here and see what it says.
Yeah.
Trustex.
Oh, Trustex. Yeah, I was close.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
So yeah, that's about it for me. I think is that's what I got. But for those that are tuning in and have tuned in, we've had a contest. If you follow us over on the Twitch, we've said if you follow us, you can be entered to win some moolah. And we've been putting off the drawing because once again, Hambone is the man with the plan. But he is here now. We have the spinner. We are live raffling off this drawing.
Right? So we're doing two drawings, right? $25 each. This was for following us on Twitch. So thank you to everybody who responded and got in here. I know it's sort of a new podcast we're trying to kind of kick off. So appreciate everyone's support. I wanted to just say, thank you to everybody who's followed. And we'll probably do something like this in the future. But without further ado, we shall.
For those that are watching, this is a live spin here. For those that are listening only, you can go back and watch. We're not rigging this. It's some kind of fancy online Wheel of Fortune looking thing.
I copied the list of followers. So there's a special tab, which I was trying to tell you guys.
We were.
And you're just like, when you get back, you'll do it. It's fine. So I did it. It looks like, Drew, your name and my name is in here. I just left it, but if it lands on one of us, I'm just going to spin it again. So I'm
taking the prize.
You have to buy more magic cards. How many magic cards can you buy with $25?
2.
You can get like 3 packs.
All right, that's pretty good. Pretty good. All right, click to spin. Number 1 winner is.
Come on. No whammies.
Oh, I really like the sound effect. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
I can't hear it, unfortunately. No whammies. Oh,
Top Ranma. All right.
So close.
Top Ranma with the first $25 winner.
We give them 2 weeks. If they don't claim their prize by next episode, we move on.
I know how to reach out to Top Ranma.
Okay, well, if you know Top Ranma, then
we can get in touch with him. No problem. All right, so I'm gonna remove him because he's won, and now we've got wheel spin numero dos. That one was for you.
No whammies.
Boom.
Stock Holiday.
Stock Holiday in the house.
Do we know that one?
Buddy. I do. That's my buddy Nick.
All right.
So, awesome.
So they win $25 each of their choice. It could be cold hard cash. It could be eShop or PlayStation or Xbox or.
Yep. I'll reach out to you guys. And however you want it, we'll get it over to you. We'll figure it out. But congratulations to the winners, and thanks for following. Appreciate you guys.
Yes,
I like that
very
username.
much.
I like Stock Holiday. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a funny dude. Awesome.
All right, moving on down the line. We every time we have a podcast, we talk about the games we've been playing, and we're going to do that again here. We've kind of played around and shot the breeze for a little bit, but now we'll talk about games. I don't know how much you.
froze there for a
Did
second.
we lose? Did we lose the coos?
Did we lose the coos?
It looks like we're still live, so that's always good. Do you want to just jump in, Drew, and start talking about what you've been playing?
Yeah,
Or do
I will do
you
that. I
wanna
haven't
just,
been playing
give
too
me-
much. I believe it or not, I have not touched my Switch for a while. I brought it on vacation with me on the cruise. Didn't even take it out of the case. And you know what? It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So I don't think last time we recorded, I talked about it. I did finish Xenoblade Chronicles X around 80 hours. The main story, I rolled credits. There is some post-game stuff. So I might dive back into that. I might not. We'll see. But it's You've never played this game, Hambone?
No, I haven't played any Xenoblades.
Wow. So that it might be tough, but it's a fun one. Who's your back?
You lost internet. I am at a hotel on hotel internet, so that's cool that you guys are still on though.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
fantastic.
good. Yeah, so I just said, hey, Drew, go lay out your list. So we'll swing back to you.
Go for it.
Yeah, so it's such a fun game. And I'm not just saying this to say this, but it was again one of the best looking Switch games I've ever played, hands down. The graphics were just fantastic. I don't know why it was so smooth, but it was great. But yeah, there's still a lot of stuff. Like I beat the game. I was around the level, God, I don't remember, 70-ish, maybe not even, maybe 65-ish. But there's like level 90 monsters roaming in certain areas, so you could really keep playing if you want to do some things. There's just nonstop stuff to do. Anywho, since I haven't been playing much else, I have been playing a lot of Dungeon Crawler, right? I know you've been playing a lot too. So it's just such an easy pickup game to play. We talked about this a little bit. It's a turn-based battle game where your tats, you get to pick your weapons throughout your upgrades, and they're in a claw machine. And you legit just pick them up out of the claw machine, and with different methods, you drop them, and that's how you attack. And there's some strategy kind of based on, do you go with weapons for attacking, or do you go for like shields for blocking, based on what the enemy's going to do. So it's a ton of fun. There's a lot of characters to unlock. There's also ascension mode, kind of like Slay the Spire. So my goal was, at first I was just doing like the ascension level. I wasn't really doing it, and I stopped. I made it all the way to like level 11.
Oh wow!
And I paused there for a second because it was getting hard. And I said, let me go play with some other characters. So now I'm trying to play with every character and unlock all of the skins, because there's also skins for the characters. And there's a lot of characters. There's probably 10.
Yeah, there's a good amount, right?
10 or 12. I think I've beaten the game with every character besides maybe 2.
Wow. Yeah, so way farther than I am.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to beat it with the last 2. And then my goal is to go back to like the ascension level with my favorite character. Because once you beat the game with a character, you unlock like a relic, I guess, or
yeah, it's like they call it like a paw, right?
A paw, yeah. So when you play, you can assign 3 paws to a character, and yeah, it's a great little mobile game. This is not free, right? It's like $4 or something.
I think I paid like $5 for it.
Yeah, it's a couple dollars, but yeah, I've not been playing a lot. Like Drew said earlier, it's May is a busy time for everybody, right? Because the seasons are changing, the pool's opening, you're cutting the grass, you're doing all your outdoor work, which is kind of nice, because I hope I can get all this stuff done before Switch 2 comes out, and then it's just relapse mode. But yeah, that's all I've really been playing. Not a whole lot of stuff lately. So back to you, Coos.
Yes, still in the same boat there as far as stuff is playing. Still on Coffee Golf. What I'm trying to do this month is get yellow. I'm trying to yellow out the whole month. So I'm trying to get the top 5 or better, or top 10% or better every day. Wow. Some of them I've had to play multiple times, but so far top 10 or better. Over 450 trophies, so I'm only one section away from like getting the whole like story challenge, whatever. I don't know what that is. But,
wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, still playing the daily Sudoku on the Brain Age on Switch. That's fun. I like that. It's calm. You know, that's my daily play. I play the coffee golf. I play the Sudoku. But when I sit down and play, played a lot of family games recently with the family in town. Gang Beast. What else did we play? We always play Gang Beast, Spider Hack, that stick fighting game, and Mario Kart. All the family stuff. So, but I actually sat down and played some Golden Tee finally on the Golden Tee machine I bought like 6 months ago.
That's the one I want.
Sat down, and started playing that. The graphics on that old like Golden Tee 97, 98, 99 are there's something, buddy. I mean, they'll put your eyesight to the test to where you're like, are you sure I didn't make that putt? Because the pixels were awfully close there. But yeah, the graphics.
There's a science
the gameplay is
to that game.
still awesome. There really awesome. Is a science.
But there's a big learning curve, right? It's fun when we go to the bar with the buddies and stuff. If like we always see one, we'll do alternate shot, like 2v2 alternate shot. So you can kind of like it. It's fun to yell at your partner and stuff. But
yeah, that's a fun way to play it too.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah. I did buy the full version of the PGA 2K. I'm not sure that's what it's called. The 2K25 with Tiger Woods.
Nice. How is it?
I haven't played it. I played the demo, loved it.
Okay.
I bought the full version, but I haven't started it. But that's what I have down here is that next week I'll be back home next Thursday, and the wife and kids will be gone for a week. So I'll have a whole week at the house by myself. I'm hoping to stream a lot of video games. The golf. I bought Indiana Jones on PlayStation. I want to play that.
Nice.
So yeah, I've got a whole lot of games I want to play when the family's gone. Mow the grass, come in, play some golf. So that's the plan. We'll see. Hopefully I don't just overrun myself with chores, but I would like to really stream a lot that week. But
nice.
Yeah, that's it. And I did have one thing with the what is it called, the virtual game card that Nintendo started now? Is that what that's called?
Yes.
Where you can share your games with your family members. My youngest daughter just got into Zelda. She started playing Breath of the Wild. My oldest daughter's like, she's got to play Tears of the Kingdom. I'm like, well, I don't have it. I've got it digitally. And then I thought, well, let me try to share it. So
yeah,
fired up my Switch today. Went to share it, and it said, this isn't your primary Switch. You have to connect it to your other Switch. So then I had to connect that Switch to my Switch Lite. Once I did that, it was like, all right, you're good. Now download this game in order to virtually share it. All you have to do is download it. Because I think I might have had it downloaded, but you have to like upload it to the virtual card space. Did that and then shared it with her Switch. All I had to do is have the Switches close to each other. So I don't think if she was like in Colorado and I was in, San Diego, I don't think I could share it, but
no, I don't
brought the Switches close to each other, hit share, and it popped up on her Switch and said she's got it for 14 days, and it downloaded on her Switch, and she's been playing it. I mean, on the plane and stuff without internet. So
that's awesome.
Just like she has the game card in, it worked really well. So for those of you out there with, the family membership or trying to share games virtually, this works. It works. So I recommend it.
Yeah, I think this is the push from Nintendo to go virtual. I mean, it's just, and it could be third-party reasons why they're going this way, but I mean, yeah, I guess it makes sense. I don't know if I'm ready for it, but you're gonna pay for it somewhere. We just have to buy bigger memory cards eventually. It's like, it could be a scam for all we know that they want us to spend more money on memory cards.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great, right? Not having to buy 2 copies of the game, like try it out, or whatnot. Being able to share it, right? I think that was such a big drawback, right, from digital. Right? If I buy it digital and I have a family of 4 who all want to play the same game, like, but we all have our own Switches, there was really no option before if you had it, right? So,
well, absolutely, and that used to be a big reason not to buy it virtually, right?
Yeah.
But so now going forward, let's say it's Mario Kart. Can you share it and play it with them or no? Because once you share it, it's like you're physically giving them the game, right?
I think you're sharing the license, right? So you don't have that license temporarily.
Correct.
So
but with Mario Kart, you can play 4 players on one system. So
correct.
Well, no, 2 players on one system, right? No, You can play 4 players on a TV.
Yes, you can. You can. Yes, I do that
Locally.
with my kids.
Yeah. But not online. Online, you can just play 2 players per system.
Correct.
I think,
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, technically, you could still play it, but yeah. But yeah, I was pleased with the way that worked. I'm happy, Drew. I don't know. I'm leaning way. I used to be like you. I want the physical game. I want to hold it. I'm a collector. I like to have that stuff. But now my house is filled with crap, and I want to get rid of it all. And I want to go all digital on everything. So I see your point. I also see the other side too. I'm kind of.
It's both though, right? Because I'm sitting here. I have every Switch game I've ever bought, right? Whatever. Let's say 40 games. I don't know, maybe more, maybe less. But am I ever going to go play? Let's go see. Am I ever going to go play Legos The Incredibles ever again in 3 years from now? My kids might, but I'm certainly not. It is what it is. I don't think those games are going to be worth money like some of the old school games, but you're right. You're absolutely right. It is what it is. I think I'm eventually going to slowly move out of it as well.
Yeah.
It sits in a cupboard. It's not like you're putting them on display.
Right. Yeah.
So
I hear you, man. Hambone, hit me with your best shot.
I will do my best. Yeah. So, I was missing for the last little bit, right? So I was globetrotting, doing my thing. So on my trip, well, a couple of weeks before my trip, I pulled the trigger and I bought a Steam Deck.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing! I'm jealous.
I didn't know this.
I did, yeah. I don't think I told you guys.
Which one did you go with? There's a few options, right?
So I got the 1 terabyte OLED.
Yes, you did.
So I definitely wanted the OLED.
Hambone.
I did. I got the best one, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe I can use that for not getting the basketball court fund.
You should. Yeah. put that on the list.
Spending like 40,000. She'll be like, I think you've hit your limit.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So yeah, I got the 1 terabyte because I wanted it has like a anti-reflective screen on it that the 512 doesn't have.
Yeah.
And I got the nice kill switch case from Dbrand. Really sweet, feels awesome, nice skin on it and everything. So that's all to say that I brought the Steam Deck with me on my escapades that I've been experiencing over the last month. So
that's awesome.
Played a bunch of games, dabbled here and there. Obviously, I've played Steam stuff on my PC before, but really focused on, I'd say, like 2 games while I was traveling. Dungeon Crawler was one of them. Nice. Great game on the plane. You don't really need sound for it. I've been listening to some like podcasts and like audiobooks and that kind of stuff as I've been traveling. So having that in my ear and playing Dungeon Crawler has been great. Everything you said about it, Drew, I agree with, right? It's not the most amazing game, but it's a good time sink. I like the variability in the gameplay. The way I would describe it, it's a deck builder, right? A roguelike deck builder, but instead of the deck, you have a claw machine. And there's different buffs and different things you can do to adjust your run. I like the different every material you can drop into the claw machine is made up of a different material, right? Some are wood, some are metal, some are plastic, and there's different buffs that synergize depending on what kind of build you're trying to do. My favorite so far is just, and I'm certainly not as far as you, but I like the magnet.
Same.
And just grabbing a giant like plethora of daggers or whatever.
Yeah, I started playing around some other things. Like you can fill the claw machine up with water, and then you can get the tentacle claw. And when it's like an octopus arm, and when it goes down, it opens up underwater.
Yeah, and
so it's kind of like the magnet, just a different concept.
Yeah, I did one run where I filled it up with water, and I had like piranha.
The piranhas,
and it goes around and eats the things, and as it eats more things, it's more powerful. But then you have to time it to catch the piranha at the right time.
It's fun.
It's pretty fun. Are you playing this on your phone?
I am.
How is that? Is it like
great
to get?
I mean, all you have to do is move touchscreen left and right for the claw. That's all. I mean, it's all you're doing, and then you push a button and it drops.
Nice. So Yeah, so I've been playing that, right? I don't need to dive into that anymore. But the big one that I've been getting into, and I streamed it last week, is Hades 2.
Oh man.
Man,
Mm.
like I was trying to hold out for so long. It's been on early access for just a year now. They had a post on social media recently where it's like we've been out on early access for a year. So I was like, wow, that really has gone by fast. But I just picked it up within the last few months and really got a chance to dive into it on my trips. Yeah, everything about Hades 1 is here in Hades 2, right? It's a different character, a little bit of a different story, um, some repeat like NPCs are back, but there's a lot of new characters that they introduce and new weapons too. So there's no repeat weapons. It's
Oh
totally
wow.
different. There's this whole like witchcraft air
Hmm.
to it, which is pretty cool, right? Like so you're going back and you're collecting materials to create like incantations in this big cauldron, and then you get a buff or like a world changing thing. So that's been really fun. I haven't beaten a run yet. I've gotten really close, but I've done maybe a dozen runs or so.
Nice.
Um, yeah, it's super fun. Like I'm not trying to play it too quick because it's not like 1.0 version out yet, but definitely jumping in to do a couple runs here and there as I find some time. I really like the twin blades. I think that's my favorite weapon. So you have like a sickle and a dagger, and you can throw the special is you throw the sickle out. Um, and it does so it's sort of like the shield if you remember from Hades 1
Yes.
where like that's like the special so that it's sort of a similar concept to that but the attack is super fast and then there's also this thing where you attack and hold either the attack button or the special button and that has a modifier on how the item attacks or how the weapon attacks so like the special if you hold it it'll do a spread attack so it'll throw out like five or six sickles right
So that
and,
that's nice.
but if you hold the attack, it'll do, like a quick step and it'll backstab the enemy. So there's a lot of different things you can play with and different buffs and whatnot. They've introduced a lot of different gods, that give you the
Nice.
buffs during your runs. So yeah, it's great, man. And they didn't announce it previously, but, before I bought it, but since then, they said that it's, Switch launch exclusive, Switch and PC. Right, so I would
Mm.
normally get this on, like, PlayStation or something, so I'm glad that I picked it up on PC, so I'll play it here and play it, when the 1.0 comes out here, and I'll pick it up on Switch, but, I'm glad
Nice.
that they defined that, so Xbox and PS5 will be downstream at some point, but, yeah, if you liked Hades 1, Hades 2 is, the place to be for sure. Um
So that 1.0 is supposed to drop on Switch 2 launch?
I don't know if it's launch day, but Hades 2 1.0 will launch day 1 on Switch 2.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
very confusing, but yes. It will come there first is what I'm trying to say.
Hmm.
Um, the next game that I played and I was able to, beat a good chunk of this before I even left on my vacation there, and I kinda cleaned it up as I returned, was the first Berserker Kazan. So this is a game I played during Steam Next Fest that my PC definitely cannot handle. It was like maxed out graphics, like it sounded like a jet engine. So I said, "All right, well, I'm not playing it here. I thought I might be able to squeak it on PC, but this is for sure a PS5 game." So I played it there. It's a Souls like type game. Um, really more like realistic background, but the characters are like hand drawn anime style. Really difficult. But if you played a Souls game, it's very similar to like Eliza P or Black Myth Wukong or a game in that genre, right? Um, what was really cool about this one was that you have three different main weapon paths you can choose. And I liked the spear; it had some nice reach, and it was really fast. There was also like a dual wield axe and sword thing that was a little bit faster, but the reach wasn't as far. Or there was this big ass great sword you can get and just kind of like hack at enemies. But I thought the spear was a good choice. I really enjoyed the spear. Pretty linear game, right? You pick the level you go into. There's a boss at the end of the level. You have to sort of fight through your minions to get there. If you die, you drop all your level up um, currency. So you have to fight back to pick that back up, go back to the home base and level up, choose different things. A ton of gear that would drop. Like you would kill an enemy, like a bunch of shit would just drop and it wouldn't be any good. So basically you'd want to just like sell it. So if there was a downfall to the game, it was like very loot heavy and it was almost too cumbersome to manage at some points. But
Mm.
if you found the gear that you liked, if you put a set together, you would have certain buffs. Like, hey, if you have the hat and the greaves to this one set, it would give you like 5% bonus attack speed, or like bonus like level up materials if you had the full set or those sorts of things. So it was really cool. You can customize how you wanted to play. Um, I got the platinum, so that was a
Course,
struggle.
of course.
With these Souls like games, most of them give you the ability to do like a summons when you're doing a boss fight. Somebody to come in there that's an NPC. The actual Dark Souls games or Elden Ring, you can actually summon a friend to come help you with those fights. But this one was just an NPC. You can say, "Hey, yeah, no, come help me out. I'll spend this one currency that I have and come kind of distract the boss while I'm attacking it." The platinum required you to not do any of that throughout the whole game, and there were a few times where I was just on the brink of giving in and giving up, but I held strong. I did it, got the plat, and moved on. But
Nice.
sort of the new hotness. So if you've been following the gaming space over the last few weeks, is this Claire Obscure Expedition 33 game, highest rating game so far of 2025. And man, it is absolutely deserves all the accolades it's getting.
Really? What is this
Absolutely.
is the first I'm hearing of it. Apparently,
Same.
my
Me too,
ear is
dude.
not on the gaming grindstone.
Yeah,
Me
so
too.
Tell
so
me
it's not on
more.
Switch. It's not on Switch.
Right?
Although I can definitely see it coming to Switch too. I
Well,
think
it's
they
funny you
can.
say that. Solo something just posted a link in the Nintendo Dad's chat,
Oh,
um,
nice.
with the dev talking about Nintendo. Didn't say yes, but talking about it.
Nice. So this game is a brand new studio called Sandfall Interactive. They're the guy who founded it is a former Ubisoft dev. A bunch of French dudes came together to kind of create this game and build this game together. It's a very small studio, like 30 core, 33 or 34 like core members. So it's really, really
Nice.
impressive. Kind of like a double A type of game. It was only $50, which is also like a huge selling point compared to what games are going for right now. But it's a turn-based RPG with realistic style graphics. But and Drew, this is for you. The hook is that the attack mechanics are very similar to something like a Paper Mario, where you have to
Really?
time. That it gives you like a short little mini game when you're doing a special, like a regular attack will just attack like no worries. But if you're
Yep.
doing a special attack, you have to. There's a little like diamond that pops up, and you have to stop the cursor in the right mode to get it to do like
Okay.
extra bonus damage.
I like
Um,
it.
but it's also when you're playing defense, you can either dodge or you can parry. So if you do neither, you can survive most of like the common enemy battles and that kind of thing. But if you're doing a boss battle, like you need to do one or the other.
Yeah.
And I like the way that they did this, where the dodge window is much larger. It's way more forgiving. Like if you're not really great at the timing, you can just say, "Hey, I'm going to dodge." The fight's going to take way longer, but like I'll be able to survive. If you're more risky um, and you parry the right timing, it's usually not just like one attack and you parry and you're done. It's like a series of like 3 or 4 different attacks
Okay.
with different timings and that kind of thing. If you pull that off, you do like this massive damage and this really kind of cinematic, like short little cutscene plays where you do this huge. I posted a short on YouTube today, just as a
I saw that
example
right
for you
before
guys to
Yeah.
see.
before we streamed.
Yeah, so
I was
so
going to
that
ask
was
you
like
what game that was. That's this game, right?
that's this game. Yeah, this big like fat dude was coming and trying to just jump on me like 5 or 6 times. And it parried it all, and the whole team kind of get up and just kind of do this big like flourish attack. And it's super cinematic and really awesome. So,
Miley
um,
Cyrus sets it off too in your video.
dude, yeah, exact. Somebody wasn't happy that I put Miley Cyrus over that, but that's okay. Um, it's no big deal. There wasn't that much music playing in the background anyway. But yeah, this game is amazing. The story is top notch. The writing's really good, and the voice actors. I'm not familiar with all of them, but everybody. It's a small cast, right? It's like 5 or 6 different voice actors. But here, Drew, another one. The main villain in the game that you talk to is motherfucking Gollum, Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis is legit. He's the best.
He's awesome, dude. He's awesome.
He's the
But
best.
Jennifer English is one of the main characters from Baldur's Gate. She plays the main character in this game, and the other sort of co-lead is Ben Starr, who was if you've seen like the ads for Balatro and the guy like dressed up like the Joker, that's him. He was the Final Fantasy 16 lead, and he actually was the lead in First Berserker Kazan, oddly as well. So he's been up and around in this space. But yeah, man, like this for sure is my favorite game so far this year. Something that I've been watching for a while. It was announced in like an Xbox showcase last year, and it's been on my list. It's pretty short too, right? You probably can beat it in like 25 hours, but there's another 20 plus hours of side stuff that you can do, and that's sort of where I'm at right now. I've done everything except beat the final boss, but I'm kind of just going around powering up and collecting all that random other stuff. Yeah, it's awesome. There's not too much gear to worry about. You pick your weapon.
Oh,
They
it's
have
always
different
nice.
elementals and that kind of stuff. But the what's really interesting is this like Picto system that they have, where you can slot 3 different Pictos onto your character, and they have a buff where it's like, hey, you're gaining more attack points, so you can do your specials more often. But it also will give you more attack power and maybe a higher critical chance rate. And you find like over 50 of these throughout the game, and you can kind of like, modify your builds and whatnot with using those. But the other thing that they layer in there is after you've played 4 different battles with a Picto equipped, you can then slot the buff from that Picto onto any one of your other characters.
Hmm.
So if there's a Picto that would let you attack twice in a row, as soon as you sort of have unlocked that Picto, you can then assign those points to your other characters. Now everybody can attack twice in a row. So it's really really cool on how they've built out the systems. And I don't think this game is doing anything new, but it's like the sum of its parts is just such a perfect puzzle that they've assembled together. It's amazing. Would highly recommend if you guys are into any of that. I know turn based kind of throws some folks off. RPGs kind of throw some folks off, but if you're at all interested in something like this, for sure, check it out. The $50 price tag is, you really can't beat it.
Nice.
That's
Sounds
great.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been playing.
Sounds like a premature goatee, right?
It
With
could
that
be.
with that
Yeah,
high
I've
rating.
got a couple other
and,
ones. I've got a couple other ones. We'll see if
Yeah.
Hades 2 fully
Yeah.
comes out this year, and then Night Rain is sort of the other game I'm
Oh
tracking.
yeah, I'm not talking about for you specifically. I know Night Rain's going to be your goatee. I just
Oh,
mean
yeah.
like for the gaming community as a whole, for
Yes.
this to be so highly rated, and so popular. So yeah,
Oh yeah, for
we'll
sure.
keep an eye out on that for sure. Hopefully, it comes to Switch 2. It might run it, so then Drew will
I think
play
it
it.
could. I think Drew would like this game for sure.
Yeah.
We'll
Last
need Night
year,
Rain.
the 3 of us went to PAX East and had a good time at the Red Bull Arcade.
We did.
This year, it was my daughter's birthday. Drew was on a cruise, so Hambone said, "Don't you worry, I will go and report on PAX East all by myself." But
Amazing.
he had some friends out there too.
I did.
Hambone, tell us about PAX East.
Tell us everything.
Man, what a journey this past weekend has been. So it was I certainly missed you guys. I'll start with that, but it was sort of refreshing to kind of just get out there and just venture around by myself, no family, no ties, kind of just
It's
live
good.
a
That's
bachelor
good
weekend
times.
kind of
Yeah.
deal. So very cool. So I took Friday off from work, headed up there like 6 a.m. Right. So it's like a 2-hour drive to Boston from where I live. Got up there a little bit after 8, parked. I parked in that same parking garage from last year.
Nice.
I think I might have parked in the exact same parking spot, like, and everything. I was like, wow, what a repeat.
Was it still
but yeah,
just as clean?
dude, it is super clean.
Had
right?
that weird lobby and stuff. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's there's like some sort of like medical device
Yeah.
business or something there. So it's like, a bunch of idiots like me in video game t-shirts and like business suit dudes in the elevator. And I felt like really awkward and weird, but regardless, it's a nice, parking spot right around the corner from the convention center. So got up there, and something that I did last year that I thought was an experience, right? So I got in the queue before the floor opened. So the floor opens at 10, and they sort of like herd you like cattle into these different like pens, I guess I'd say, right? So I was in pen number 3. So I would be the third group that would go into the PAX floor, and I was like right at the front. And I was there by myself. One thing I said to myself before I went, I was like, you know what? I'm so introverted sometimes. I don't want to talk to anybody. But this weekend, I want to talk to freaking everybody. I'm just gonna make friends. This is what I'm gonna do, and for sure I did. And I was talking to
That's awesome.
yeah, I was talking to some couple next to me. The guy was in the military. I think it was his wife was like a huge Pokemon fan. And the guys who run PAX, the enforcers, do a good job there. They try to get you all excited and everything.
Enforcers.
I might have sent you guys the picture, but it was like the big dude from Pokemon that wears like a Pokeball head, like
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah, yeah.
Pokeball. I don't know what his name is. I haven't played a Pokemon game in forever, but he was going around and playing rock, paper, scissors with just random people in line to just kill time, right? So we had an hour before the floor opened. And if you won rock, paper, scissors, you would get a little Pokeball with a little kind of tiny little Pokemon in it. Um, and she didn't want to play. This girl didn't want to play. I'm like, no, do it, do it. And her husband's like, yeah, do it. So she ended up playing. She won, and she was so happy. And I was like,
That's
oh
awesome.
man, like this is so good. Like the vibe at
That's
PAX is,
great.
is so
It is. It
positive,
is
and
awesome.
everyone's there just to have fun. So that was just such a great start. I'm like, you know what, this is going to be a great weekend. Um, so cue to like half hour later, whatever. They open the gates. Everyone goes crazy and starts running in there. Everyone's yelling, "Don't run! Don't run!" Like, all right, I'm not going to run. So my first stop, of course, I mentioned it before, but Bandai Namco had a booth there, and I wasn't really sure what it was, but I knew it was going to be focused on Night Rain because Night Rain comes out in 15 days, right at the end of the month here.
Who's counting?
Who's counting? I am.
Hamblin's
Um,
counting. That's who.
so I was like, "What the hell is it?" I don't really know what it is. Like, no, I wasn't able to find any information out in the queue. So it ended up being like the soundproof dome tent, which was really cool. And I said, "Hey, did you get this off Timu? Because I know of some inflatable tents." But they
I
said
know a
no,
guy.
I know.
no. And basically, what it was is that every hour on the hour, starting at 10 through like 4, they let 75 or 80 people into the tent, and they would
It's
show them a
way bigger than
presentation.
I thought.
Yeah, so it was pretty big. It was pretty big. It was one of the bigger areas they had on the show floor. So everybody who ran got into line at 10 o'clock. So I missed out on that, or you can get into like a queue, like a waiting queue. But what they were doing, which I thought was great, is that the Bandai team was just handing out like cards that said, "Okay, come back at 2 o'clock. You'll get in line.
Okay.
You're automatically guaranteed to get in at that point." So that's what I got. I got a 2 o'clock card. So I said, "All right, well, I'll come back at 2." So then I'm looking around, like, what am I gonna do? I'm not sure. I was so like not sure where I wanted to go. I was like overwhelmed. But I went to the Devolver booth, and they were showing two different games. One game was called Batsu, which is like a 3-on-3 party game, kind of with like Fall Guys mechanics. Nobody was in line, so like I didn't get to play that. I needed 5 other people, but no one showed up at that point. They were all at the Elden Ring tent or
Was it
whatever.
called
So
Batsu?
yeah, Botsu, I think. It looks pretty fun.
Oh yeah, there it is. I love Devolvers. That's what I want to see what it
Yeah,
looks like.
so cool looking game. I didn't get to play it. I was talking to some of the Nintendo dads, and they got a chance to play this one. They said it was fun. But on the other side of the booth, there was this game called, and I'm probably gonna butcher it. I didn't ask him how to say it. I think it's Myco Punk, Myco Punk, Mycopunk. You're a roach or some sort of like bug creature, and it's an extraction shooter. So, sort of imagine Helldivers combined with a like Borderlands style art style. So hand drawn, animated. Um, it was 4 players. I got paired up with a random 3 other people who I made friends with. They were pretty cool.
Of course.
I saw them throughout the rest of the day. I pointed at them. I was like, "Hey, it's you guys." So we played. We beat the mission. It was like 15 minutes. Kill as many bugs as you can. Fill up a meter, and then extract. it was fun. Probably not something I'd get, but definitely if like I was playing with a buddy and here like, hey, we want to hop on? Like, I've got this game. I'd play it again.
Yeah.
But that was it was fun for somebody who likes the shooters type games. That would probably be something I'd take a look at.
Those
Walk around.
multiplayer games at events like that, they hit different, because you've got the crowd and the vibe, and you're
In
playing
person,
that, and
yeah.
you've got that whole scene, and then you get home on your couch, and it's just not the same.
Yeah,
So,
I hear
yeah.
you. So that's kind of how I was feeling on that one. But
Yeah.
well made, good game. I just probably not something for me. I did like that the staff that was manning the booth, like the devs, I guess, were there, and they were all in cockroach costumes. So I thought that was pretty neat. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, Devolver's a good booth, always.
Always. Yeah, they had a bunch of like swag and stuff that you could buy. I didn't buy anything from them, but I did take a look. So it was cool. Everyone was pretty chill over there. Samsung was there. I went over to the Samsung booth. They just had a line. I just got in a line. That's what I started doing at some points. I'm just getting in a line for this, whatever. Sure, I'm getting in. And it was a short survey, and then they sent you to a claw machine. You had 3 tokens to try to win a Funko Pop. I lost, but it was fun.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking to the Samsung lady that was doing the survey for me, and she liked my Chrono Trigger shirt. So I was like, hell yeah, I like my Chrono Trigger shirt too. Thanks.
Yeah.
So she was pretty cool. I walked over to that PAX Rising Center. If you remember that last year, that's where like they had probably like 6 or 7 different indies that were really focused on like that red carpet type area.
Yeah.
I walked around. There were some narrative games. There was some survival horror games. Neither of those are really my per se genre. But they did have this one game called Cappy and Tappy Temples of Peril that I tried.
Yeah.
This is a co-op puzzle platformer game
Love
that
it.
I don't know if it's online, but this is definitely a cool stream game. I think we could definitely play. But basically, the gist of it is one player is the platformer, the other person is either dropping down or deleting pieces that look very similar to like Tetris. So you're trying to solve puzzles, get some collectibles, and basically survive the level. One of the levels, like water was rising, so you had to climb up. Another one was just, hey, navigate across the level and build the structure so you can collect you can collect the different idols and kind of get out of the level. The last one we played, it was one where it was like totally full of pieces, and you had 3 pieces of dynamite, and you had to strategically use the dynamite to delete certain pieces so that you can get through the level. Very cool. I liked it a lot. Yeah, it was really fun. And so I think I said one player is the platformer, the other person is doing the business, right? So either deleting or adding. I played with just a random dude. He was pretty cool. I don't think he liked the way I was playing because he was telling me to do a lot of stuff, and I was like, you know what, dude, it's fine. Like,
it's okay. It's gonna be okay.
Like, bro, it's not really a big deal. He's like, you should jump right now. I'm like, okay, yeah, you should delete the shit right now. So, so we passed the controller back and forth. So we each got a chance to play the different characters. And then I was talking to the dev a little bit afterwards, and I told him, I was like, oh man, I really like the art style. This is a fun game. I really like the way your elephant looks. He goes, elephant? That's a tapir. I was like, what the F is a tapir? He's like, it's kind of like an anteater. I was like, whatever, dude. I kind of like the elephant. And then then I was like, you know what? I like the bear too. The bear's not bad. I really like his hat.
Yeah.
He goes, that's a capybara. I was like, oh well, fuck me then.
Yeah, it's an elephant and a bear.
Yeah, it's an elephant and a bear. Yeah,
should have just made it that way.
In my mind, the capybara is wearing a hat, cappy, and then you're tapping the screen
with the
elephant, cappy tappy.
Tappy,
totally wrong. They're talking about the animals, capybara and a tapir. So
right, yeah.
Not gonna hold me down. It's totally fine.
It's actually
I don't know though, Handbone. You're the guy though when we were playing Fall Guys where you're like, get the durian fruit, and I'm like, what the hell's a durian fruit? So you can't get mad at them for pulling out the tapir
you know what?
on you.
What is it? I'm more of a flora, not a fauna type of dude. Is that what? Yeah, maybe
you learn about durians from Mario Sunshine.
Oh, maybe I should play that.
And Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Sunshine came first.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. So yeah, so that was super fun. I liked Cappy Tappy. Then I went over to the Fan Gamer booth. That's where I
Yeah.
got the Hades plush last year. So I was like, oh, what do they
Yeah.
have? I got
Same
a cool,
things.
pretty much the same things. But the nice thing is that you don't have to pay for shipping, and that's usually what holds me back
Yeah.
from
Yep.
Fangamer because it's always so expensive.
Yeah.
But I got a Alexander the Great Jar plush from Elden Ring. He has posable arms. He's pretty sweet. I got a sweet Cult of the Lamb shirt, and I got this little guy, Astrobot,
Oh,
for my son. Yeah,
dude.
he's
He's on
awesome.
my wish list. Yeah.
He's actually, he's officially licensed, and I really like that his arms are like posable, right? So they're like little like joints in
So good.
That's awesome.
in his arms and legs. So yeah, my son's super excited. I said he's going on my shelf unless you want to play with him. So
That's
so
awesome.
so that was fun. And then, I mentioned before, but the Nintendo dads were there. So we had kind of a text chain going in their Discord, and they said, hey, we're all meeting up outside of the Elden Ring booth at 1 o'clock. And I said, you know what, that's perfect because I'm going to Elden Ring at 2 o'clock.
Hmm.
So Jesse, Justin, Tim was there with his son and his daughter. And then Vin as well from the Discord. So 5 of us met up. We just kind of shot the shit for a little bit. Talked about the games we were playing, what we liked so far. And it was just a kind of a nice quick meetup. We kind of chatted for like
Nice.
45 minutes, and then I cut out of there and I went to the Night Rain booth, which I was so excited for this for sure. Um, so they bring it in there, and I was like, "What is this going to be? Like a presentation?" Like I didn't really care what it was. I was going to get in there, like
You were
no matter
committed.
what. I was totally committed. So they shuffle you in there. Everyone's sitting down. I made friends, of course,
course.
with I was waiting in line before they brought us in there, but there was a family behind us, a dad, Chris, shout out Chris, his wife and his 2 kids. And we were just chatting it up, man, kind of talking about games. Owen, my son, said, hey, when can I go to PAX? And I was like, oh, maybe a couple years. I think you're probably a little bit too young to really kind of spend the whole day walking around.
It's
You'll
a
get
lot.
bored.
It's exhausting.
These kids were 10 or 11 and 13, so a little bit older, enough where they can get around the day. They all liked games and everything. So really great family, super nice. I ended up sitting next to them in the presentation, and I look over and one of the kids is playing Geometry Dash, which is a game that my son likes. So I was talking to him about that. And the kid was hilarious. He was like, I used to play this. I just came out of retirement, so I'm getting back into it right now. And I was like, dude, this is like, man, like what a great day. I was just on cloud 9. It was amazing. So 2 o'clock comes, they start the presentation. They had this sort of like really hype announcer guy in there. He was super cool. He's like, here we are. We've got this special demo to show you in Night Rain. We're gonna show you a full run of the game. But we've got some other, kind of surprises for you. We've got 2 people from the Bandai team here to play. But if you know anything about Night Rain is a 3-player game. So we need to fill this 3rd chair. And before we fill this 3rd chair, let's ask some questions. Who's played Elden Ring? Raise my hand. There's probably like 20 of us.
Hambone.
Raise the
Please
hand.
tell me you got to fill the 3rd chair.
Next question is who beat Elden Ring? Yep. I platinum it 4 times. Yep. Good to go. All right. Who's played the closed network test? 2 people raised their hand. Me and this other guy raised their hand. Last question was who beat the Night Lord, which was like the main boss that they put out for the network test. Other guy drops his hand. And it's a hand bone with his hand raised.
Let's go.
So they're like, yeah, come on up. What's your name? My
So
name's
great.
John. And I'm thinking back to myself, I should have been like, you could call me Hambone, but I missed the opportunity. I was like, man, I really wish I said that, but I was like so nervous. I was like, oh my God, all these people are gonna watch me play. Hopefully I don't like mess up. What are the controls? Like I'm like having this freak out moment. The family next to me is freaking out. They're like, oh my God, the guy we were talking to is gonna go play. I know that guy. Oh, it was so cool, man. It was like it was amazing. So yeah,
Oh man.
basically yeah, I sat down next to the 2 guys from Band. I think one of us was a streamer, but like connected to Bandai, and the other guy was actually like a Bandai employee. Both super nice. They were playing all day already, so they knew what the hell they were doing. The guy asked me like what character I wanted. Thank God I remembered the name of one of the dudes. So I played that guy, and that was the guy who I did the best with during the network test. But what was cool is that they were also showing off 2 of the new characters that wasn't in the network test. So there was this one archer dude, and this other strength guy who had a giant axe. So then I was kind of in there with sort of a balanced build, a guy with a sword and a shield type of thing. We did really good. We got to night 3, which is where you fight the big boss. And the announcer guy was like, "Yeah, so far 1 out of 6 people have beaten this boss this weekend. It's not great, not a great turnout rate in terms of success. And unfortunately, we died. We got like
Ah,
2/3 of the way there, but it was super cool. Yeah, it was a great. I mean, I was shaking afterwards. I was like, I don't even know what to do.
Oh,
Like, oh
I
my god!
bet,
I went to the
man.
bar and had a beer afterwards. I'm like, I need to calm down. But no, it was so awesome. I ended up talking
Oh,
to Chris and his family afterwards, and like, oh my gosh, you did so good, and it was awesome. And the guy ended up. Chris took a few pictures for me when I was playing up there, so so
that's
I've got
awesome.
those. Super nice. I'm like, oh my gosh, like can this day get any better? It was such a cool experience. Like 1 out of 80 people or whatever got a chance to do this, and it was such a cool experience. So
that's
played that,
amazing.
That's
went to the
awesome.
bar, made some more friends over there,
Of course.
talked to some
Yeah.
guy from Denmark. I just randomly, I'm like, hey, that salad looks good. He's like, it's very good. And I was like, oh, where are you from? Dude was from Denmark. He was cool. He was there with his girlfriend. I talked to some other girl that was dressed up like I think is it Luffy from One Piece? I don't know. There was a bunch of those cosplays there. So I was like
Gotta love
shaking, trying to
cosplay.
text. I was trying to text my wife. I'm like, oh my god, it was a great, and I couldn't even like hold my hands to the
Oh,
right way.
dude.
It was awesome, man. It was so cool.
That's awesome.
So I calmed down, went back into the PAX floor, and I was like, I got to do something else before the day ends. So this one booth that they had was basically it was like a big food truck, all kind of decorated with like trash and gross shit. But it was a game called Goblin Town,
Oh
and the
boy.
way the game works is it's kind of a very difficult driving game is how they teed it up. But basically, you're trying to climb this hill, um, and the turning is like very tight and like weird. But there's different obstacles that can like knock you off the hill, or like targets you can kind of boost onto to get yourself up higher. And there was basically me and 2 other dudes got to play at the same time. The line was super long; it took like an hour to wait, but
Oh,
ended up playing. Came in first, beat the 2 other guys. Was able to kind of go into the back of the truck, and they had a stream up there, so like everybody who won out of the set got to play for like 15 minutes in the back of the truck. So that was pretty cool. Not as cool as the Elden Ring thing, but pretty fun.
Yeah.
And then at that point, I was like, all right, I'm out of here. The floor is getting pretty busy. I went back to my room and hung out. But then I met up with the Nintendo dads at Quincy Market for dinner. So hopped an Uber over there. It was also I'll mention last year was rainy and shitty weather. It was rainy and shitty weather again this time. So
of
I
course.
got
Oh,
soaked.
that
Um,
sucks.
I was back in the room. They were still on the show floor and they were texting like, "Hey, meet at like building 1 or exit 1 first floor or something like that." So I was like, "Oh, that must be like where they're meeting at Quincy Market. I haven't been here in like 20 years, so I'll find building 1." They were talking about the PAX floor. I was walking around in circles for like 20 minutes. So
Wow.
what ended up happening is their Uber got canceled like 4 or 5 times. So I was somehow able to hop an Uber from the hotel, get over there in like 10 minutes. It took them like an hour to get there. So I had double dinner because that's what you do as you're waiting. So I
Nice.
walked around. I had a nice clam chowder in a bread bowl. And I was like, I don't know where these guys are. Like, but I'm hungry, so I'm gonna eat. Um, and then as I'm walking around, kind of exploring, I see Justin from the Nintendo Dads. He's like, "Hey, we just got here." I was like, "Well, looks like I'm eating dinner again." So I got some good Chinese food. Was chatting it up with them for a bit. Hung out. It was a good time. Stayed there for like an hour or whatever. And then I went back to the hotel. And I stayed at the Westin this year, which is attached to the convention center. Definitely the way
Mm,
to do it.
Huge win.
that's the way to do it.
Yep.
Something that we didn't do last year, at least I don't think, is we didn't like when the expo floor closed, like we just left, right? We didn't go back or whatever. But the convention center stays open till like midnight with all this other like random stuff that's going on.
I'll tell you what,
Um,
magic is probably going on.
Magic for sure was going on. Magic was going on hard. But I was just like, all right, what's going on right here? So there's this D&D
Hate
Dungeon and
myself.
Dragons group called Natural Six. They were doing a panel, like a kind of a live D&D show. Um, the guy Ben Starr again is somehow on this group as well. So I was like, oh, cool, I'll go see him, along with some other kind of dudes in the space and a couple girls. That was fun. I stayed there for like an hour. I left early. I was like, all right, I saw what I saw. It was a long day for a lot of the PAX attendees. Not all of them had a chance to go and like freshen up, and I was kind of sitting in a goblin town, if you will, in terms of sights and smells at that point in time. So I'm like, get me out of here.
But the beauty was you were right at your hotel.
I just got up and left.
Yeah.
But before I left, they were actually doing a concert upstairs in sort of like the big arena that they had there. And it was a group called the Bit Brigade. And they play like video game music. So they had some guy playing F-Zero, and they were playing like the F-Zero tracks along with him. If the guy hit the wall, they would do like all the hit the wall sound or anything like that.
That's so
And then they did Super Mario World. So I stayed there for like a half hour. I watched that. I was like, oh, concert, like, are people going to be dancing? Like, I'm ready to go. Like, let's do it. A bunch of these weird nerds are just sitting down. I'm like, you guys suck. Like, stand up.
Right. I've got a chowder and a Red Bull in me. I'm ready to rock.
Let's rock, guys. It's 9:00. What are you doing? But no, that was fun. I stayed there for a little bit, and then I went back to my room. So that was day one.
Wow, just day one.
Just
you went
day
hard,
one.
Hambone.
I did,
you went
man.
hard
I went
like
hard.
those Magic
great
players.
Time. I had an amazing time. I didn't play any Magic, but I did walk by the booth. So there was that. Day two, I had it was a lighter day. I'd say day two, Saturday. It was a madhouse there. It was absolutely insane. I got back in the queue with the people. They blowed up a blow up doll. They're throwing that around. That got taken down and deflated very quickly. There were sharks that they were throwing around at some point. There was a small baby that was there that was on a parent's shoulders, and they were wearing like this spike like blow up helmet, and everyone was cheering when they got a ball. It was fun. Good vibes all around. So I went back.
Is the better play to go like 15 to 20 minutes after it opens, you think?
Depends what's there.
It's like going to Disney. Like if you rope drop, you get to go right to a ride and not wait, right? So it's the same thing with the booth.
Similar. If there's something that you absolutely want to see, like you got to be there. You got to be there early,
or else it's going to be an hour wait.
Or else it's going to be an hour wait. Or like the Elden Ring thing, they
miss it.
Their tickets were out by like 11:00. So if you weren't there by then, you're SOL.
But if you showed up at 10:30 and whatever, say the doors open at 10, and if you got there at 10:30, you would probably be able to just walk right in.
Oh yeah, there were no issue. The floor is open all day. Like you can get around and whatnot. You just be waiting in lines. Or if there's something that you wanted to sign up for, like the friends I made on day two, the wife wanted to go sign up for the Ticket to Ride tournament, and she's like, oh, I better get over there first so I don't there's space for me. So if there's things like that are time bound with a limited space, you got to get there early for sure. But if you're just like floating around, like doing whatever, like it doesn't really matter. So, day two, I didn't do as much. I'll be honest. I went back to the Elden Ring booth because I wanted to actually watch somebody play. So I got 2 tickets. I got a ticket for noon and at 1:00. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll raise my hand and play again. Maybe I'll just watch somebody. We'll see how it goes. But then I got in line for Crimson Desert. I waited like 45 minutes for this. I thought I was early, but there were 2 groups in front of me, and it was like a 15-minute video that they showed you, and then you got 15 minutes to play the game. Third-person action game. It's the same people that made I want to say Black Desert is their other game. Pearl Abyss. I've never played it. That's like an online type action game. Didn't love it, to be honest with you. I wasn't sold. The graphics were nice, but the controls were super clunky. They dropped you into a kind of demo spot where you can pick one of 4 bosses to fight. And they were super spongy. I couldn't get the combos to work. Maybe I just sucked and wasn't used to it, but I wasn't.
But suck at any games.
Maybe this game sucks. But the booth was pretty cool. Maybe the booth was pretty cool. They were painting people's faces there, so like the main character has these like 3 like blue stripes on it. I did not get any blue stripes. I was thinking about it.
Oh, damn it! You should have got the stripes.
I know. I didn't get the stripes, but they had a big sword you could pose with and stuff. But I didn't do that. So that actually took a while. By the time I was done with that, it was like 11:30 or whatever. So it was almost time for me to head over to the Night Rain booth. So I went for noon. I wanted to kind of see from a audience perspective, like what did people see when I was playing yesterday, and it was actually really cool. Um, they had the three different players up on the screen at different times where you can see all three of what they were doing. Sometimes it was just a focus on one player. If there was a certain feature or a boss that they were fighting, they would focus on that one player, and the announcer would sort of talk about that for a bit. Super cool. I watched it and then I was out of there. I wasn't going to go back to back, so I had my ticket for 1 o'clock. So my thought was like, let me go to the standby line and like find a random person and like gift them this ticket so they can get right in. So I walked. Everyone seemed like they were paired up. I'm like, I'm not going to give one ticket to a pair, right? I want to find a guy like me who's standing by himself. So just so happens that I walk to the end of the line. There's just one guy like our age who's dressed like Frog from Chrono Trigger, which is like one of my favorite characters from the game. I'm
What
like,
a
this is so perfect. I'm like, dude, you here by yourself? He's like, yeah. I'm like, is this Frog from Chrono Trigger? He's like, yeah. It's like, oh hell yeah. I was like, guess what? You're in, bud. So I gave him the ticket, and he's like, this is amazing. I'm like, it is amazing. Go enjoy yourself. Um,
That's so cool. Yeah.
so
That's
yeah,
awesome.
so it was nice. I passed along a little bit of goodwill to my frog friend, and he got
Yeah.
to do that. And then I went and played Monster Train 2, which did you play Monster Train, Drew?
I
It's
did. It's okay.
it's
It's something
okay.
special.
Yeah, the graphics were good. I never played much of Monster Train 1, but it's like a deck builder type game. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a Slay the Spire
I'll probably
esque type
skip
game.
2. I don't think it was good enough to like make me go play the second one.
Yeah, so it was fine, but it was something where the line was somewhat short and they had a
Yeah.
nice booth and the guys were friendly, so I went and played that for, 20 minutes or whatever.
Mm.
And then I actually didn't play anything else for the rest of the day. I kind of just walked around. The lines were super long on Saturday, but I did watch a few different games that looked pretty cool. So, um, Gigasword is and I talked to the dev for a little bit with this guy too. So it's a 2D, looks like a Shovel Knight type game, but it's a Metroidvania where you have this
Mm.
big sword and it's more of like a puzzle platformer, right? So it's like slower paced. You want to kind of explore your surroundings. You can drop the sword to unlock like different doors and stuff and solve puzzles, pick it up to fight enemies. It looked really cool. It's supposed to come out later this year. This is something I added to my wish list. Giga Sword.
So
It's
this is epic. So this
I
this
saw.
looks like God, what's the name of that game? Road Story? What was it called?
Oh yeah, yeah. Rogue
No, what was it?
Legacy.
Road Legacy. That's
Rogue
what
Legacy.
this game looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Justin posted a video of him playing this Giga Sword, and he did compare it a lot to Shovel Knight. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely intrigued by this one.
This looks
Me
this
too.
looks cool. Yeah, for
Is
sure.
this Nintendo or no? Steam or
I think it's gonna be all platforms from what the guy said.
okay.
It's you can wish list it and play the demo on Steam right now, but I don't think the demo is available anywhere else.
It's gonna be like tape to tape and all those other cool games we saw last year that just never come out.
Should go get that
They
Steam Deck.
came
Use
out,
that,
Drew, just
use
not
that
for
basketball
us.
court money, baby. But two other games I went around and looked at. Pizza Bandit.
Mhm.
This booth was hopping. So the art style was very reminiscent of like a Fortnite. But the gameplay was sort of the mix between like an Overcooked and like a tower defense type game where you would have these different tasks to like create your pizza orders or do whatever like with your team. But then intermediate, there would be hordes of zombies that would come at you, so you had to like gear up and like ward off the zombies and then make your pizza. So it was like a lot going on. I didn't get a chance to play, like I said, so there was like so many people waiting, so I kind of passed. But I watched it for like 20 minutes. The other game I watched was Royalty Free for All, which was kind of like a Smash clone. I honestly wasn't that impressed by it. I mean, it was pretty cool, but not sold. But I like to play on words, right? So it's like royalty free. There was no like characters or IP that you would recognize, but it was also a free for all. So it was just like kind of this like battle party game. So then I left, and I walked over to the hotel, and I hopped an Uber to an ice cream shop that was like a mile away called JP Licks. And it just so happened that one of the voice actors from Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth was there.
No
Uh,
way.
and not just so happened, but she was there, and that's why I went there.
Oh, now the truth
Okay.
comes out.
Yeah.
I
It
thought
would've
you were
been
going
cool.
for some good old-fashioned ice cream, and here it
No.
is, the Hambone stalking a voice actor.
Dude,
Yes.
the
Let's find
clientele.
out. Hold on. What's her name? Let's find out if she's hot.
She's definitely hot.
She's very good looking. Her name is Brianna White. But
Mhm.
she's a great actor, right? She plays Aerith from the Final Fantasy games. And is just like,
she's a smoke show.
yeah, and she was very nice. She was very nice. I actually thought her assistant was a little cuter, to be honest with you, but that's okay. But man, like the clientele that was in the line with me was like,
Magic players?
Yeah.
like yes, yeah, we'll say that.
Listen,
I want to
I'm
be
the
nice.
coolest Magic player out there.
I want to be a nice guy, right? I don't want to talk smack. This was a good vibe weekend. Everyone was there to have fun, but man, some of these guys were just like, they were creeps.
So
Like,
she
some of these
put the
guys were-
word out on the street that said, "Hey, I'm going to be at this ice cream shop. Hop an Uber and come see me if you want." And so you and all your buddies show up. And how long is this line to get into the ice cream store?
Oh, it's outside. People are walking by like, "Are you waiting for ice cream? Is there a new flavor that not announced?" And like, and then I'm listening. And like, I didn't respond to any of these people. They were just like normal people on the street. There was a couple guys that lived in the apartment next door. I was talking to them about golf. They showed up with their golf clubs, and they're like, "What are you doing? There's a voice actor here. We're gonna get some consent or whatever." But like these other people were walking down the street. And the guy in front of me was like, I don't know what he was on or what he should have been on, but he should have been doing something different than what he was doing. But he was just like the biggest weirdo I met all weekend. But yeah,
That's saying a lot.
yeah,
Yeah, it is.
It's a very interesting crowd. But the guy in front of him, I felt so bad for Brianna because like he's like, "Can you read this? Can you read this script that I wrote?" And it's like this and that. And I'm like, "Oh my god, dude! Like,
Just take
get
the
your-
picture,
get your
get an
picture and get
autograph,
out of
and
there."
get out of there. Yeah.
But I did get this, and I'll show you guys. So this is a cool little poster, with all the three like main
Wow.
girl characters from the game. And they all have like these like sayings when they do their attack. And she's like, "Do you want me to do like one of my, address it to you and do one of my like battle call cries or whatever she said." I was like, "Whatever you like to do." So she wrote, "John, this one's for you, Brianna." I was like, "Yeah." She was super nice, and I was like,
for you.
I got out of there and I was like, "You got to deal with the rest of these weirdos. I'll see you later. I'm going to get an ice cream and leave."
She's probably like, actually, no. Did you want an ice cream?
I know.
Get away
I'm
from
like,
these.
"Can I save you?" Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like, some of these freaking weirdos.
Did
were
you
wild,
take
but,
that poster, or was that one she had there handing out?
There were so people showed up there with like different game cases and like steel books
I
to sign.
figured, yeah.
One guy actually drew,
Yeah.
like painted a picture. The guy behind me was not a weirdo and was actually kind of nice, but was a big fan.
Well,
So she
painted
was
a
signing
picture.
different things, but she also had prints like of like, her like actual face, but also pictures of her character in the game, various different things. I didn't want to get into a lot of them were glossy and like that's kind of weird, but I like that.
Did you have to buy that poster?
I did. It was $10.
Yeah.
$10 and the autograph was I think $40. So I walked out of there $50, like, whatever. She spent her time.
What a life! Imagine
Yeah.
sitting in an ice cream shop,
It's awesome.
making $50 a person.
Yeah, I mean it was nice, right? I mean for what she had to deal
What
with,
are
she
we
probably
doing
should have made
wrong?
$100.
Even
a
Ben and
person.
Jerry can't get $50 a person out of their ice cream
No
shop.
way! This is
Yeah.
line out the door.
Yeah, the line was out the door. I probably waited there for 45, 50 minutes.
Wow.
Like, I mean, I was committed at that point. Luckily, the one time of the weekend where the weather was nice was that time. So
I
and
mean-
I did take the Uber over because it was just like kind of like cloudy and whatever. I had an umbrella just in case it kind of downpoured again, but the skies opened up and it was nice and sunny when I got out of there. So yeah, it was nice. She was super nice.
Nice.
That's great.
And that's
Did you
it.
go
I-
back to the Red Bull Lounge or whatever the hell it was called?
No, I didn't. I didn't
Was it-
see any. Like, I feel like last year people were handing out flyers, like, "Come do this,
Yeah.
come do that."
After party
Um,
stuff.
Some of the guys I was talking with in Goblin Town, I was like, "Are you from here?" They're like, "Yeah, we work down the street." I'm like, "Where are people going after this? Like, what's the hotness?" And they're like, "Go to the Scorpion." I was like, "All right." So I was going to go to the Scorpion on Friday night, but after the Bit Brigade concert, I was kind of pooped, so I went back home to the hotel and kind of just chilled. But yeah, I walked back past that piano bar at one point. I didn't see.
Well, they
didn't
like rented
see-
it out or something.
I
Yeah,
thought
that
they
was
did, so I was hoping they would do it again, but I didn't notice any of that. But so yeah, then I drove home. 2 hours later, got home. I passed out as soon as I got home, and that was it. And I think I caught whatever I have now. packs.
So you drove, I think last year, did you take the train in or was that Drew?
I did.
Yeah,
took the train.
I drove.
Okay.
I drove. It's not bad. It was 2 hours. I missed traffic on the way there. On the way back, it was really no big deal.
That's not bad. Yeah.
I did try to walk around with hand sanitizer in my back pocket most of the weekend, and I just kind of slathered that on as much as I could.
Did you go to any of the board game stuff?
Oh, that was my favorite.
I walked around. I didn't buy anything, but I did look at a few different ones. There were a couple cool ones I was considering, but yeah, I didn't end up buying any of those after I spent $150 at Fangamer. I'm like, all right, I think I'm
and $50 on Brianna.
And $50 for Brianna. Yeah, exactly. I think
Of course, Drew remembers her name. But it sounds like a success overall. I'm so glad you got to play Night Rain. And
thanks.
Yeah, next year maybe we can meet up and go. I mean, do you want to? Is this a yearly thing for you?
I think it's a yearly thing, man. Especially if we can get together and go. Like, I'd love to. Like Nintendo Dads, what they did, they had like a podcast, Monday, their first night, talking about their experience. I think that would be cool to kind of do together.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it was good. I'll definitely go back next year. They announced the dates, and it's in March again.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Awesome. I met some other just random other podcast people I know from other Discords
nice.
around. As I was waiting for the cab or the Uber at the Westin, I saw the guys from the trophy room there, the three of them. So I said, hey, what's up? And that was that. I was like, hey, it's Hambone. They're like, hey, I know you. I was like, I know you. So yeah, it was a great weekend, man. I had a good time. I'm sorry I missed you guys. And apologies for talking for so long. But yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah. And you made it back for Mother's Day.
Made it back for Mother's Day. I bought my wife a plant.
Nice.
That was it. Let her sleep in.
Good. Very nice. Yeah, that's the key. Sleeping in is the best present you can give. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. I gave my wife a whole hotel room. I was like, go and stay by yourself. Just get away from all of us. And she was like, yes.
Don't be a mother. Do. Yeah, do the opposite of mother.
Yeah. Because that's what I want for Father's Day, right?
Yeah. And usually the U.S. Open weekend. So it's just like, don't bother me.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Drew, would you like to discuss your cruise or do you want to call it?
It's up to you guys. I mean, we can whatever. And it's nothing special. There's no video game related stuff.
I want to hear about it.
I want to hear about your cruise.
I'll fill
Did you make friends with the magic?
I always make friends. I'm like you, Hambone. I'm a friendly guy everywhere I go. Actually, I found 2 people from Rhode Island, and then ended up being that one of them was my boss's neighbor. So small world.
Nice.
But so this is a Disney cruise that you usually take every year at least. Maybe sometimes multiple times a year. Do you fly to Florida and ship out of Florida, or is it somewhere else?
Yeah. Yep. So we fly right into Orlando.
Okay.
Took a lovely lift from Waldo. A lot of jokes were made that day. And we went the night before. We stayed in a Marriott down there, just kind of chilled out. Was smart enough to call ahead and order food. So when we got there in the lobby, like, oh, Mr. DeFusto, your food's here. Smart.
Hey, that's a pro move right there.
It was a pro move there. We were just trying to hide out that night. It was fun. We're all excited and relaxed. So then we stayed in Cape Canaveral. So it was almost like walking distance to the cruise, but we got over there. And if you've never been on a cruise, it's just like an airplane. You had a boarding group and a boarding time, and then once you get there, it's again timed perfectly. I think we stood in line for like 10 minutes, and then we were on the ship like that. It was awesome. But yeah, so it was a Disney cruise, the Disney Treasure, which is their newest ship. We had a fun. This was the longest cruise I've ever went on. It was 7 nights. Never felt too long. Never felt like I wanted to get off or be done. It was great the whole time. So the way we had
the ship, it was the newest one. Was it better than the others, bigger than the others, more features, or?
So what Disney does is they have like it's the newest. It's very similar to one of the other ships that we've been on. What I mean that is it's the same as that layout. Everything's the same, but like they retheme bars and pubs, and they'll change the shows in the theater. So for example, I mean they have like they'll do like a bunch of them. So they have like 3 or 4 of them that look the same but are different, and then they have like two of the older ones and two of the older ones that are paired up differently. So yeah, the you get into this routine where, like, for me, I'm an early riser, so I would wake up at like 6:30 every day, and I would just get my cup of coffee, do my morning poop, and I just kind of explore and just do my thing on the ship deck, try to find a nice cozy spot with a book or do on my phone or whatever. And then I tell the wife, text me when the kids are up, and then we'll have breakfast. And then we'll do our things during the day, right? The great thing with the Disney stuff is you just get your itinerary, you can do whatever you want. Hey, let's go do that. Let's go do this. Let's do that. They have like a water coaster on the cruise, so and pools. So the kids wanted to do that a lot. We did that a lot, but we paced it out. In the past, we never used to get off the ship. We kind of stayed on the ship because the kids were younger, and it's like you don't have to get into another country. And
Yeah.
but now that they're older, they're 8 and 11. It's like let's plan stuff, let's do stuff, and we planned it so it was like every other day we were getting off the ship, and then the other days we'd stayed on the ship. So our first time we got off the ship was in Cozumel, Mexico, which was awesome. I'd never been, and it was great. It was we got to do an excursion, so we walked through like kind of like the downtown area, which was kind of fun. A lot of shops and trying to sell you stuff, but we took a small bus ride to a dolphin sanctuary, probably somewhere where I don't know. But anyways, we signed up to feed the dolphins and pet the dolphins. It was like $100 a person when we signed up, and they had like swimming with dolphins and this other stuff, but it was like $200 a person, which was like $800. And I didn't know if the kids would have done that, so we didn't do it. When we get there, the guy's like, "Hey, if anybody wants to upgrade, it's $25 a person."
Yeah,
So
now we're talking.
I was like, "Oh yeah." So I had like $100 bill, and I'm just like, I handed it to the guy, and then from that moment on, I was treated like a king because just gave them $100 cash. Disney's not getting any of that money. That's just going to them. And then I just threw them an extra $20, tipped them up front. Another pro tip there. And it was just like, yeah. So he brought it to the front of the line. We had free cocktails, and then we got in the water. So it was like waist
Wait,
deep.
they got you drunk before you swam with dolphins? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Mexico.
Gosh.
And then they feed you after Mexican food, which was great.
Oh.
So this was by far my favorite experience of the entire cruise. It was way better than I expected. So like the first like 4 feet of water all the way along the side, it's probably only like 3 feet deep, like up to your waist. And the dolphins would just swim right up to the edge. And then as soon as you like go on that beyond that 4 feet, it just, it's I don't know, probably 15-foot pool, 20-foot pool. And yeah, it was great. They came over, we did stuff, and then they would go out there and they would like come up and you could hold their fin. And the guy got me good. He's like, he told me to do some hand motion, and then the dolphin like went underwater and just came up and just squirted me in the face. And he only did it to me. He didn't do it to anybody else.
That's awesome.
But I didn't know it was coming. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, it was only
almost dropped your Mai Tai.
I almost shot. There's only 3 families. It was perfect. They each had 2 kids just like us, and it was small. And then so then they're like, all right, we'll swim out into the middle of the pool. And I mean, it's a massive, you call it a pool, it's more like a man-made reef. He's like, all right, so just float there and put your left hand out, and the dolphin's going to swim around you. You're going to grab its left fin, and then you're going to grab its right fin, and you're just going to let it guide you. And it was, my kids did it, and I was shocked that my 8-year-old did it, and they had the time of their life. Wow. And then, of course, they get you, and afterwards, like, oh, you want to buy any pictures? And the pictures came out awesome.
Yeah, of course.
It was like $225 for all the pictures.
Yeah.
But I was like, I probably won't ever do this again. Like I did it once. How many times I need to do it? So I was like, the pictures came out great, and we got 100 pictures. So I was like, let's just do it. So we did that. And then we kind of like walked back and did a bunch of little things, and people trying to sell us crap left and right. But so then the next day we stayed at sea, and I said, you know what? My wife and daughter went and got their nails done. Me and my son played some stuff, played some basketball, whatnot. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to treat myself. They have a Captain Hook's Barbery. and I was like, I'm gonna go see if there's any appointments. So I went in there, I got an appointment, and I was like, I just want to get like a nice shave and like a haircut. How much is that? Look, well, the haircut's like $25. I was like, that's it? Okay. I was like, well, what about the shave? I want the shave.
Yeah.
The like
hot towel and all
the
that.
hot towels and everything. It's like, well, it's 130. I was like, what?
Whoa.
I said, I just want to shave. And they said, well, no, you have to get a shave comes with a face massage, a scalp massage, and the whole 9 yards. It's like hour and 15-minute experience. I said,
wow.
I said, fuck it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Sign me up. So I did it. It was
Guy
okay.
comes out with a hook, ready to shave. Yeah.
I'll say this: the haircut was fine. No, nothing different than I think like a normal haircut. And then he pretty much probably put 50 different types of oils and lotions just on my face, but he would do like 5 at a time, and then he'd have like this warm towel that had like a cilantro lime smell to it. It was fantastic. Rub it, just let it sit on your face for like 4 minutes, and then he would come back, take the towel off, put like 5 more oils on me, and then a new towel. And it was just, he repeated that for like 30 minutes. Kind of nice. And then he comes back, he's like, now I massage your face. I'm like, okay. And he just manly hands, like, I don't know. I didn't hate it.
Yeah, got the rub down.
Didn't hate it. Didn't hate it.
Gonna complain, man.
But then it was like, all right, now it's time for the shave. And I don't know. I wanted like a straight razor, and they're like, no, we can't do that on a cruise ship. I was like,
yeah,
yes, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I just feel like he used like a throwaway razor, and it was like he was just going super fast and in every direction. And I never get razor burned. And I had like a razor burn for 2 days after.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, kind of regret that. But the other day, everything besides the shave was fine. It was good. I did it once again like the Dolphins. Been there, done it. I probably don't need to do that again.
Did you get 100 pictures of the man rubbing down your face?
There was no pictures. I wish there were.
I might pay $250 for that.
Yeah. All pictures of me. So the next day we went to Falmouth, Jamaica.
Wow.
Yep. And I will say this, Jamaican people were the nicest and most friendliest people I've ever met. Even like in the marketplaces that we walked around in afterwards, like super friendly to the point, not trying to like sell you. Like Mexico was like, here, buy this. I want your money. Yep. Jamaica was just like, hey, how, like before they even like, how are you? Like, what's going on? Like, where you from? Like, oh, are you looking at that? You like that? Like, oh, like, we handmade those ourselves. Like, never pressured you. And then when I did buy something, it was a fraction of the cost of Mexico. Like my kids wanted to buy a bracelet in every place we went, like the Jamaican one, a Mexican one. The Mexican one was like $20. This one was $5. Like it was a very different atmosphere. So we take this rundown little bus through the jungle, like one-way little roads. It was a cool ride. We get to this place. They have like these man-made like waterfalls and pools, and they have all these trees that are like 800 years old. Like besides redwoods, the biggest trees I've ever seen in my life. Just like thick and tall and big. And they have all these little like wooden platforms like built around them and staircases. So you go up the first one and you're probably like 150 feet up in the air. And you go a football field length, 100 yards across a river, like onto this other tree. And it was
on a zip line.
On a zip line. Okay, it was awesome. I was nervous my son wouldn't do it. You know, it's kind of scary. He's never done anything like this before. And it just fucking does it. And I was so proud of him.
That's awesome.
Then you get to the next one. You're always like you have to you're always strapped in with one thing to like a wire that goes around the entire course. So you can never unbuckle, then they buckle you to the zip line. So once you start, like you can't get out of it. You have to go to the finish line because you're buckled in, you're in these trees, there's no stairs to the ground. You're literally on these platforms 100 feet in the air. And there are 7 zip lines in total. So we did like halfway through, we're like on the 4th one. And this one's a little bit shorter. And it's probably like 100 feet long. probably the tallest one, 200 feet high, directly over a river below. And it's not like a huge steep. It looks pretty straight. And they're like, well, this one you did kind of like your weight brings you across. I'm like, oh man, my guy weighs like 50 pounds. So he goes, and sure enough, I see him. So my wife went first, and he's like slowing down. He's slowing down, and he doesn't make it. He gets stuck. And his face is just like drops, and he's just like,
this poor guy's just hanging out there.
200
feet over
you
the
can
ground.
hear him. He just like,
dude.
you just hear him yell like,
Oh.
this is what I was afraid of. And then he just like starts bawling. And meanwhile, you get this Jamaican guy like, hang on, man. And he like grabs the zip line, and he pulls himself out, and he grabs his leg, and he like pulls him back in. And he was crying, but you had to get over it. You had
That's
to keep
scary
going.
as hell,
Yeah,
dude.
man,
Super
that's crazy.
scary.
I probably would have cried too.
Yeah.
But he kept going,
for him.
And
well, he didn't really have an option.
he
there.
didn't have an option, but he got right on the next one, and he just went. So
wow,
that was an awesome experience as well. A lot of fun.
Man, you guys did the excursion.
Yeah, you did everything. That's awesome.
We did. And then the next day at sea again.
And you all didn't you get married in Jamaica?
No, my honeymoon was in Dominican.
Okay.
No.
So had you been to Jamaica before?
No, never have.
First time in Cozumel, first time in Jamaica. Pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. And then we went to Grand Cayman, but we did not get off. And a lot of people said Grand Cayman kind of sucked, which was great because there was nobody on the ship and we had it to ourselves.
I like doing that too when I've done cruises before. Kind of like let everybody clear off and get in the good spot at the pool or do whatever. Get like a couple extra rides on the water slide.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep. So we did that. And then we went to Disney's Island, and of course, my son found the basketball court, the soccer nets, but we didn't stay there. The Disney Island is nothing special. I mean, it's beaches.
I've been there too.
It's if you live in New England or around beaches, it's people love it because they don't live near beaches. So it's a very nice beach. They have a couple like one water slide. We did the water slide once. It was low tide, so they couldn't do. They have like monkey bars and stuff like that, like in the water, but they didn't let you do it because if you fell, it was only like 2 feet deep at the time.
Yeah.
So we only stayed on the island for a couple hours, which was nice. Because again, everybody gets off the boat there, so we had the whole boat to ourselves. But yeah,
so I saw on your Facebook post that there was a port that you all were on that looked Disney themed. Was that on the Disney Island, or was every port you got off on have like a Disney theme?
That one was the Disney Island.
Okay.
Yep.
I just didn't know if they had like an individual port on each island. Like this is only for the Disney cruise.
Yep.
But
no, they don't have that really.
Yeah.
Once you get off the Disney ship and to the ports, it's all them.
Okay.
And what ship were you on?
The Treasure.
Treasure. Got it.
Yep.
Yeah, we did the Wish a couple years ago.
The Wish. So the Wish it's the same ship.
Oh, okay.
It's the same ship. Like the Star Wars lounge.
Yep.
That's a Haunted Mansion lounge. They switched up some of the other pubs and stuff like that. The big Disney theater shows at nighttime. They have Beauty and the Beast, and they have Moana is like the big new one, which was awesome. Cool. So, yeah, overall had a great time. No issues at all, really. So, yeah.
Nice. Did you book your next one when you're on the boat? 25% off or whatever?
Yeah, that's right, buddy.
10% off. So you buy a placeholder and then you have 2 years to use it. So we now have a coupon for 10% off. Yep.
Nice.
Gotta do it.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, if you're gonna do it. Yeah. Sweet.
And you have the season passes to the park too, right?
I did, not anymore.
Oh, okay.
I got tired of that. I was like, we went like 4 times in 1 year. I'm like, all right, I need a break from Disney.
Yeah. It kind of makes sense without being a little bit closer, but yeah.
Did you walk away with any Lorcana cards?
None. 0.
What?
0.
That's because the wife was there.
Yeah.
I don't know if they didn't sell any there. Shocker, they should have.
Yeah,
they should have.
So I did meet up with the magic people three times, and played a little bit.
Was like 4 or 5
funny
guys.
running into you guys here again. I just so happened to have my book with me though, so we might as well play.
The problem is we let my son stay up like late some nights, like 10:30, 11, whatever. We did stuff. It was great. But my daughter went to like the teen kids club, like 10 to 14-year-olds, and she
Mm.
shut it down every night to midnight. So I was like,
Wow.
what am I
Oh,
gonna
cool.
do? Because my son would be in the room at like 9:30 with my wife, and I'm like, I have like 2.5 hours. So I go to the pub or I go play some magic or whatever it was. So it worked out well. It wasn't like I was going at like 2 o'clock. I'm like, all right, you guys have lunch. I'm gonna go hang out with my buds. Like everyone was in the room and I was by myself. So it worked out.
Yeah, nice.
Cool.
I like the kids club. That's always a nice feature,
Oh man, I
especially on
love
those
it.
cruises.
Well,
Yeah.
especially on Disney because you feel safe. There's like,
Yeah, they've got plenty of staff there to watch the kids and
oh yeah.
everything, and they're all
It's funny
That's
though,
and there's a
because
lot
awesome.
of kids
once
too,
they
which
hit
is
like
nice.
the teens club or the tweens club, they check themselves in and out. So it gets a little
Mm.
dicey. Like she
Yeah.
Oh,
could be
interesting.
roaming the ship. I mean, where's she gonna go?
Right.
But like I don't know where she is. So like the first night, like bring your iPad, you have your backpack, bring your backpack and your iPad, and text us every 45 minutes. I want to know if you're leaving, if you're gonna get an ice cream, that's fine. You have friends, go do that, but just let us know. So like the first night, we were pissed because we didn't hear from her for like 2.5 hours.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
again, we know
Wow.
she's safe, but she's 10 years, 11 years old. Like I don't know who you're hanging out with and stuff. So then we had to give her a big sit down. I was like, listen, this is what you have to do. And if you don't respond to us, and I get it, it's an iPad. It's not like you have a phone. Like you have to go pull out the iPad if it's in your backpack.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hassle for sure.
But nope, every 45 minutes you give us an update, you'd make a joke or say something. And I was like, that's all we wanted. Just try to
Yeah,
communicate with us. And
Mhm.
yep, so we let her stay out every night. But every night,
that's awesome.
every single night she stayed out. And it
Good
was
for
cool
her.
because the counselors would like tape them to some of like the other lounges and some of the other like kid zones, and they would like close it to the public and only let them have that area. So they would do like, for example, like typically there's like family game shows and it's open to anybody, but they would like shut it down, say this is the family game show theme, but it's only for the tweens.
That's cool.
Yeah, and
I
like
like
they
that.
like they
That's
shut all
awesome.
they close all the shades, so you can't see in there. Like, no, they just want them to like be themselves and have fun. So yeah, she had a blast.
So
She loved
cool.
it, which was cool
Nice.
too because me and Evan got to like hang out a lot. Like there was a lot of hockey games on and basketball games. So we're like, hey, let's go to the pub. Like, you know, and I was like, buddy, what do you want? You want it like like the Haunted Mansion parlor had like potions, which was really just soda. It's like, you want a soda? Do you want this? Like, what do you want? They wanted some pretzels or snacks. And it was just like us hanging out, you know?
That's fun.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, we like
Yeah.
we no one knows. Like we went and we bought like a big picture that they sent to your house of like the ship. So like, all right, let's
Oh,
go buy a picture and not tell anybody. They'll just show up at the house. Like, how'd this get here? Then I had too many drinks that night, but who cares?
Has the picture arrived yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
The picture may
That's
not
good.
arrive.
Yeah.
It may not.
Yeah. That's
So yeah,
good.
we
That's
had
good
we had a
times.
blast. We
That's
love
awesome,
the
man. I'm
cruises.
glad
The
you had a good
cruises are
time.
great because you always just go back to the room and rewind for a little bit, or you know, it's just an easy. And now that they're older, we do these excursions. It's like it's fun. We like it.
Nice.
So that's it. That's all I got.
Disney cruise. I've never been on a cruise. I think if I ever do one, it'll probably be a Disney one, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Drew had a few too many drinks, and the picture is going to show up at Koozy's house. I'm going to get a giant photo of a ship
There's a
that
big
I've
boat.
never seen before. Yeah. All right, guys, I think that's it. We've been here almost 2 hours. Thank you all for joining in on the live stream. If you're here, if you're listening online, thank you for doing that. Thank you for subscribing to all our socials over and over again. We thank you so much to the winners of the Twitch drawing. Congratulations. We still need Twitch followers. We want to continue to grow the scene, grow the brand, and get out there and do our thing. We're having fun doing this, and we just want to share the good times with you. Handbone's posting videos and Miley Cyrus music over on YouTube. Drew is a fan favorite on Facebook and on Discord. So yeah, we're doing the thing. But thank you all for listening, showing up, and until next time, we will catch you in the clubhouse.
Peace.